This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's start the today's session. So, what are we going to discuss in today's class is about how do we perform Excel operations in Tosca. So, how do we make use of Excel? How do you fetch the data from Excel? How do you verify the data which is present in an Excel, or how to get or retrieve the data which is present in an Excel? So that is what we are going to see in this today's class. So basically in the previous class, we have learned about the buffer operations and what are the different kind of manipulations or actions that we can perform on these buffers. In the today's class, it's the same way. We are also going to see some Excel standard modules, but how do we perform Excel operations? The reason behind we discussing this specifically this concept is most of the projects in real time maintain their data or inputs in the Excel format, right? So if the inputs are present in the Excel format, now how do you link the Excel to the Tosca, or how do you fetch the data from the Excel and use it as a data or an inputs in Tosca? So that is what, because this is also important from interview point of view, and even few projects might be using their data in the Excel. So you should also be aware of this concept, right? To do that, so what we will be doing today is, so first of all, let me create a test case. So for that, I'll just create a test case and I'll name it as Excel operations, and I will make the name as test case 2 work state to in work, and I'll be straight away going to the modules. Now, when I will be going to the modules, one important point that I need to say. So, in order to perform these Excel operations, I mean, till the version of 12, please remember this point. Till version of 12, Tosca doesn't have any standard modules to perform these Excel operations. Now you can see under the standard modules, under the folder Tbox X engines, there is a basically a folder called Excel, and there are few standard modules which we can use in order to perform the Excel operations. Prior to the version 12.2, only from the version 12.2, the Excel standard modules are available. Means only from the last 1.5 to 2 years itself. I mean, from 2019 itself, we were be able to perform this Excel operations through Tosca with the help of the standard modules. Now, before this, what we need to do? What we used to do. Like I've started working on versions Tosca 9, 10, 11, right? So then there is no standard modules to perform these Excel operations. Then what we used to do is simply, now we have a support portal, right? We used to navigate to the support portal. There we used to download the 8 pack. There used to be one file 8pack.tce. So we used to download that and import that file into our project. So which contains the Excel standard modules. So that is a process we used to do if you want to perform the Excel operations. But now that is not the problem. Everyone has their Excel standard modules present in the standard modules. Now they can make use of this one after the other standard module, and they can work on this Excel operations. So how do we perform these Excel operations, and what are the different standard modules we have got, and what is the process one after the other? And whatever the standard module that I'm using in an order hierarchy one after the other, you need to be using it in the same way in order to work it properly. So the first thing is go with the Tbox Open Excel workbook, right? This is the first standard module which I want to use, Tbox Open Excel workbook. I will be using this standard module in my test case. So now you can see Tbox Open Excel workbook, which consists of three attributes: workbook name, path, and the create new. So which Excel you want to open, you are going to specifically mention that to Tosca. So it is asking, when you want to open an Excel, it is asking what is the name of the workbook and what is the path in which you are going to uh, create it or open it from. So what is this? First of all, what is this workbook name means? Please be very attentive. This workbook name is just an alias name for my Excel, because so, for example, we all are having our names, but we will also be called with our nicknames, with our close by friends or family members or relatives. In office, we will also be calling with our ID. Means whatever specifically means, each and every time instead of calling you by name, I can also call you by an alias name, either a nickname or an ID or whatever it might be. In a similar way, if I want to perform Excel operations, so each and every time instead of calling the name of the Excel and the complete path, so what I will be doing is I will be just using this alias name, which I am going to create now to call the Excel. So what is my workbook name? So I will be giving for a random. So demo underscore Excel. This is, for example, consider that demo underscore Excel is the alias name which I want to call my Excel on which upon I am working on. So I will be using this demo underscore Excel as a alias name. This workbook name will be used as a alias name. Now, what is the path? Now, the second thing is path. So I'll go to the path. I'll go to our folder. Okay, let me go to this screenshots folder only. Let me do what I want to do. I want to create Excel here or open an Excel here. Let me say that I'll go here and I've given this standard module. Here, now you need to understand this Tbox Open Excel workbook can be used for two ways: to create an Excel and to open the Excel which is already created. So I'm also giving the name of the Excel. What is the name of the Excel which I want to give? What is the today's date? December 20th, right? December 20th dot. You should also give the extension. What is the extension of the Excel? XLSX. So this is the path means E drive Tosca classes batch 14 under the folder screenshots. I am just creating December 20th, the name of the Excel which I'm going to create now. The third attribute is talking about create new, either yes or false, because I do not have any Excel which is already created in my system. So I'm giving it as a true. If I am giving it as a true, what will happen? I am saying it to Tosca, you please go to this path and create an Excel with the so and so name and create new as a true. So it will create a new Excel for me. And the alias name for complete Excel is demo underscore Excel. So can we run this and see what is going to happen? Run in Scratchbook. Now see in this path, now we are going to get an Excel file created. Can you see now? December 20th, the name of the Excel which I have given. Now can you see it has got passed? You can also see the results, what has happened. Excel is created successfully. Now, Excel is already created. From the next time, if you start running this, it will be fail because you can't create the same Excel multiple times, right? So what you need to do for the first time when you are creating an Excel, you need to give this create new as a true. From the next time when you want to access the Excel, you want to give it as a false. The reason behind we giving this as a false, then what it will be do? That's what I told. This Tbox Open Excel workbook can be used for two ways. One is for creating an Excel and one is for opening the Excel which is already created. Now, if I give the value as a false and if I start executing this, previously we have got a result called is created successfully. Now the Excel will be opened. When you give the value as false in the create new, now the Excel will be opened. Can you see the result? It is opened successfully. Now you can ask me, Madhu, whether the Excel is open. No, the Excel will not be open because the Excel operations are not the UI operations, means they are not the user interface operations. So the Excel operations, whatever you perform, those will be happening in the backend itself. Now you can ask me, Madhu, this is Excel, right? No, this is not the Excel. So this is the Excel which is to track your attendance or mail IDs or whatever it might be, right? So that is not the Excel. So our Excel has not got opened. So it is present in the backend. It is open in the backend now, right? So this is the standard module. First standard module which we will be using Tbox Open Excel workbook. Now what is the second standard module? So after opening an Excel, the second thing is basically most of the people they won't we have a standard module but we won't be using this create Excel worksheet. Okay, let me open the Excel which we have created only December 20th, right? See, when I opened the Excel which is already created, this is containing a sheet one. right? By default, we will be using this data only. So, but this T-box create an Excel worksheet. This won't be used most of the cases, but what will happen is after opening an Excel, they will also say what is a workbook name. I told you, right? Workbook name is alias name which I will be creating. See, whenever I want to use this, I will be using this workbook name here itself and worksheet name. If you want to create a new worksheet, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, if you want to create new sheets, you can use this Tbox Excel create worksheet, and you can also give the order in which order you want to give. I mean, should it be created in the first or second position or in the third position, or it should be present in the last position. You can be using this standard module. So this standard module is used only to create a sheet in the Excel, which is already created. If an Excel is already created, if you want to create a sheet in the Excel which is already created, so then you will be using this standard module, right? Then the next thing is Tbox define Excel range. The most important thing is this: out of your complete all the standard modules, we have two standard modules which plays a crucial role. They are saying Tbox define Excel range. Before defining the range, let me create some data. I have an Excel which is created, but it is containing nothing, right? So what I will do is I'll create some data. So what data shall I create? Name, employee ID, location. So let me create some data for, in order to explain it to you clearly, I'm just creating some sample data so that how do you access this data. Okay, name, employee ID. For suppose now let me create this. I'll just search on Kalidas and then Amarnath and then, so I'm just trying to create few and sample data. Sorry. Okay. I'm just creating some sample data with all the names and few employees. Okay, let me give some random data. I'm just giving here. Let us consider these are the employees. Okay, whatever it might be, actually, sample data I have created. Do not mind all these things. Okay. Now location, I'm just giving simply, just giving this Bangalore, and then Chennai, Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad. So let us consider this is the data which I have just created. Right, I'll just give this place. Yes. Now, this is the data which I have got in my Excel. For example, let us consider. Now, the reason why I have created this data is, for example, now after you created an Excel, you have created an Excel successfully. And after creating an Excel, the next immediate step is you need to define the range. So why I need to define a range means because I do not know. Because me being as a human being, I know where the data is there in this Excel. But Tosca should also know where is the data present in an Excel and from which place to which place the data is present so that it can perform the actions on your Excel. So what it is asking is, can you please define me the range where your data is present? So after opening an Excel, the next standard module is Tbox define Excel range. So it is asking about the workbook name. what is the workbook name which I've created? I mean alias name. I'm just copying it, and workbook name is demo underscore Excel. And what is this worksheet name? What is the sheet in which my data is present? Can you see here? Worksheet name means the data is present in the sheet one. So obviously what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mention here sheet one. And after that it is asking me the range name. This is also an alias name for your range. I'll say that demo underscore range. I have just created this demo underscore range. So I can use this name demo underscore range in order to access my data. And now it is asking data range. Now what is this data range? It is asking starting cell and ending cell. What does it mean? So Tosca is asking what is the starting place from where your data is getting started, and what is the ending place from where your data is getting ended. My data is getting started from a cell D4 and it is getting ended at F14. D4 to F14 is the place where my data is starting and data is ending, right? So I'll just give here the same thing, D4 F14. Now I am just simply indicating to Tosca that, boss, you please open the workbook or an Excel which is already created, and in the so and so sheet, I am just mentioning you that my data is present in the corresponding cells. Now, can I just run this and see what is will happen? I will try to show you two things here. So I'm just executing. I have just created the range, but it has got failed. Why it has got failed? Can you see workbook name demo Excel was not found? What is the name of the error? Sorry. Workbook name demo Excel was not found. Tosca is saying that workbook name demo Excel was not found. But you will be thinking, Madhu, we have already created the workbook name, right? Demo Excel, but why it is failing? So the reason why it is failing is, please remember this point. Whenever you are working on the Excel, you can't run the individual steps. You cannot run the individual steps. Now we have run only this test step, that is why it is failing. In why it is failing in this test step, we have used the data of workbook name. Workbook name is demo underscore Excel. Where is the exact information of this workbook present? It is present in this step. So whenever you want to execute the test steps in an Excel, you need to execute all together everything. You should not execute individually. So because the information is present in the previous step, Tosca is unable to get the data. Now I'm running all these steps. Okay, now executing. I have started executing. Now it is fine. Now again it has got failed. Why? Okay, now you can see this file Tosca, I mean whatever the Excel December 20th.excel is currently in use, means you have already opened it. The second important point that you need to remember is whenever you are executing, you should always remember that you need to close your Excel, right? The two important points that you need to remember whenever you are developing your scripts on Excel, and if you want to execute them, you need to execute by closing of your Excel. That is first point. And the second point is you need to execute all the steps. These are the most important points that you need to remember, right? Now see, I'll just run this and show you. I am just executing this run. Already I have closed the Excel. Now what I'm asking to Tosca, please open the Excel in the backend. Now the Excel will be opened in the backend and it has got passed. It has defined the range successfully. You can go back and check the results. See, it has got passed. Range is defined successfully. You have successfully defined the range. Now after defining the range, what we need to do? I'll go to modules. Open we have seen, range we have seen, and after creating a range, what you need to do is Excel range manipulation. Now you need to perform the manipulation on the range. What is manipulation? Basically, normal meaning of manipulation: changing, accessing, right, deleting, editing, or whatever it might be, right? Basically the most common meaning will come as a changing. So now I have created an Excel, I have got some data. Now why I'm doing all these kind of things? To perform some actions on the Excel. If I want to verify the data or store the data or get the data, So what I will be doing, I will be performing some actions. In order to perform that, I will be using the standard module Excel range manipulation as the most important thing. Now can you see T-box Excel range manipulation is the most important thing that now you can see. But whenever you see the standard module, can you see there is a table with representation of rows and columns? Now is this similar to your table operations, right? But even the Excel also contains the rows and columns, right? Tables and columns. So it is as simple as such. Even your Excel also contains different rows and different columns. Only creation of your Excel, opening of your Excel, defining the range of Excel is only the things you need to learn. And if you want to perform the range manipulation, again, it's a table operations. It is very easy for you. You can go and perform the table operations, which we have already learned. Now, what it is asking? Range name. Can you see what is the range name I have created? I'm giving the range name here. Again, I can't run this step alone, because if I want to run this step alone, I'm giving the information of demo underscore range. Where is the demo underscore range present? In the earlier step. So altogether, every time you need to run all the steps together. Now, what is this data table saying? I'll perform some now actions on this. So I have opened this, right? You already know the table operations. Can you see here? So I'm just selecting the first row and the first cell. And uh, what I'll do is, I'm just saying that Excel buffer underscore one. So now I'm saying to Tosca, I'm just buffering. Now, can you tell me what is the first row and what is the first cell in that? If I try to execute this, what will be my output?
Name of the candidate, sir.
Okay, let me execute. But if I want to execute, as I told you, you need to close the Excel. And the second thing is what you need to do. You need to run all the steps. I mean, all the steps means you can directly run on the test case level. Run in the scratchbook. I'm just executing. So what is the steps? First, your Excel will be opened. Then Tosca will know what is the range, and in the range it will get the name what you have asked. Can you see it has got passed, and you can see the results. See the buffer, Excel buffer underscore one Charan. Can you see? You can also go back and verify. See, now as we already know, right, why Tosca hasn't considered this is, so by default, whenever you use the first default one will be treated as a header. Whenever you use this dollar symbol, for example, whenever you use this dollar symbol, by default, the first row will be treated as a header. And under this, you have got the name of the candidate, which we already know. And it is again the same actions, guys, which we have already learned, right? Which we have already learned about the table operations. We have already discussed, right? Which row, which to access, different scenarios. For example, let me tell you, in this Excel, I want to get the details of a candidate who is working in Bangalore. So now actually there are multiple occurrences for Bangalore, 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 Bangalore. There are 3 occurrences in the Bangalore. Now my question is, I want to get the details of a person who is working in Bangalore in the second occurrence. Who is the second occurrence? This is the first occurrence. This is second. Second occurrence. So Bhagya is working in Bangalore and employee ID is this. I'm asking, I'm giving a question to you. The condition is Bangalore and the second location in the table. I am not sure in which row it is there. This is already we have discussed. So now how do we execute this? How do I create my steps? I'll delete this. So now you can tell me what to do. What should I do now?
Mother #2, that is in
Where?
that row. There only,
Yes.
mother.
Okay. Has to.
#2 $3 So not
dollar.
$3 const
Okay,
1 to
yeah,
3.
it is good. Okay, sell $3, then
Bangalore
okay,
constraint.
okay, then
Then we need to buffer.
hmm. Then we need to buffer. What I need to
Uh,
buffer?
$1
Hmm. Okay,
buffer here in action mode buffer,
action
or
mode, buffer. Okay,
you need to have some name of that
what name
buffer.
should I give? What name should I give?
Name of the second person working in Bangalore.
Okay, so can I simply give
Okay.
uh, second name? Okay,
Name.
now next,
Okay.
next.
That's all, Madhav.
So is the question satisfied completely? You have almost completed 75%. So my question is, I want to get the details of a person who is working in a
Okay.
Bangalore in the means I need to
Employee ID $2
yes,
buffer employee ID.
right. So now I have done this, guys. Now you can see, right? I have completed this. So did everyone understood what Rana Prakash has said that? And my question, whatever I have asked, then how do we develop that? Did everyone understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if I want to execute this, I shall just simply close my Excel, right? And I'll go back to Tosca and I'll completely execute my test case. So let us see what is going to happen. See, it has got passed. So now let us go and verify the data, what we have buffered. So you can check second name is Bhagya and the employee ID is 678568. If you want to verify, you can go back when the Excel, you can see Bhagya 678568. Is it understood for everyone? Is it clear? I mean, everyone are able to correlate what actions we have done on the table operations. Simply like I have not, this is the third scenario, right? The first scenario is only the static table. I mean, using only dollar. You can use, it is very simple, $1, $2, whichever row you want, you can give. Second scenario is only the dynamic table. But directly we have executed now the dynamic table with multiple occurrences. Right? Understood? For example, if I want to leave this and I just want to execute this, Hyderabad, and I'm just trying to do the same thing. I want to get the details of, for example, let us say the third occurrence. I don't know who is there in the third occurrence. Simply, now I'm saying to Tosca that Hyderabad is a constraint. Go to this table. In this table, get me the details of a person who is working in Hyderabad and present in the third occurrence in the table. So what I'll do, I'll just give third underscore name employee ID underscore 3. For example, I created a new buffer, saved it, close, checked in Excel. Third occurrence Hyderabad. Hyderabad first occurrence, second occurrence, third occurrence. It is the details of Raj. Raj 789757. Go and check. Let me execute this. If I want to execute, I need to close my Excel. As I told you, let me execute this. Sorry. It has failed. Why? What happened? Row was not found. Worked earlier, but it did not work. Do not worry, sometimes this Excel will behave weirdly, do not worry. When again it is going to fail. What happened here? Suddenly it is failing. It will say now row last was not found. It is misbehaving. We have done this earlier, right? As to second occurrence. Let us check for second occurrence. I understood. Now something it is behaving misbehaving weirdly. So that is why it is not able to even find anything. Let us execute the same what we have done. Same thing, right? Which you already executed. Second occurrence. I mean, we are doing the same thing. Excel is already closed. I'll save it. I'll re-execute. I doubt that it is behaving so. Sometimes do not worry, sometimes this will happen. So what we need to do is simple thing. Clear your cache temp files, restart. Why it is executing? Then what is the issue with that? Why it is unable to find? Why it is unable to find the new data? My goodness, yeah, I did a mistake here. Can you see what is the name of Hyderabad I have given? I have not added A here after Hyderabad. So just, but the input what I am giving, my input is one thing, and I'm just doing something rubbish. Sorry. Here I'm giving A, but in the input I do not have A. So it is not finding a row. Let me execute this now. See, now it has got passed. It is, I did not check my input correctly, the data. Now you can check third name Setu and his employee 557. I changed the scenario, right? Go and find who is working in the Hyderabad for the second occurrence. Setu and 8034557. Right? It's matching, right? Understood for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what I'll be doing is I'll be just closing of this Excel. I'm sorry, and the next step is going to back standard modules. Now we have opened an Excel and we have defined the range and we have performed the range manipulation. And after that, we need to close the Excel. Means whatever the actions that you have performed. So you have performed and you have stored the values. If you want to verify, you can also verify. Like we can also use whatever action modes you want to use. See, buffer, verify, constraint, input, select. Almost all the things we have been using. So now I will be using this close Excel workbook in my test case. So what is a workbook name? If I want to close the Excel, it is asking me the workbook name. What is a workbook name? Demo underscore Excel. It is an alias name, so I'm using this. What is the path? Already I have created this control. I'm just copying it, and now it is asking me a third attribute, save, either true or false. Basically, when we are closing any file, what we will do generally, we will close whatever we have created, and we will be closing it. If you want to save it, so you can give the value as true and you can close it. So what is happening is you are saving the file, what you have actions you have performed, and you are closing the Excel. So if you want to execute this, you can't execute again it simply because it is containing the data of demo Excel which is present in the first step, and each and every step is interlinked with each other. So as I told you, if you want to execute, you need to run all together from starting to ending. Now, even if you run and see, the Excel will be saved and is closed successfully is what you are going to observe in the Scratchbook results. Can you see it has got passed? So can you see the last step? Workbook demo Excel is closed and saved successfully, right? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what about the standard modules of the Excel. Now you can ask me, Madhav, we have seen all this open Excel, close, define range, create Excel range. What is this run Excel macro? What is this macro? First of all, is now this T box Excel run Excel macro is used to just run any script which is already present. First of all, what is this macro is? Basically, we have an Excel, right? So, Alt F11, yes. When I press Alt F11 in your Excel, go to your Excel and open your Excel. After opening, just press Alt plus F11 on your keyboard. So it is opening a Microsoft Visual Basic. I think if you people knew it, it is up to you. It's not a problem, right? So this is the place where actually you can write a code. Macro means a piece of code. Can you see here? Sheet 1 in the bracket code. VB scripting, Visual Basic scripting. Few of the projects, they might have automated, they might use this VB scripting as their automation tool and Excel automation. They will be saying, right, Excel automation or VB scripting automation. If few projects or few companies, if they have already written few code, few script, and if they want to execute this via Tosca, so what you can do is now you can use the standard module tbox run Excel macro, and whatever the code you have written, this is the name of a macro. Macro means the name of a code what you have written, sheet 1. So what you will be doing this, now I do not have any code to write, it is not enough scope. So VB scripting, in order to write this and learn, you need to learn the VB scripting, I mean Visual Basic scripting. So if it is already developed by someone and if they ask you to run, which is already existing, so you can also run the script of the Visual Basic by using this standard module. By using this run Excel macro, you need to give the workbook name and you need to give the macro name. You need to use tbox open Excel workbook, run Excel macro, and close Excel workbook one after the other. There is no need to define the range manipulation, because you are not performing any action on the Excel. You are just executing the code which is already written by someone on the Excel with the help of this VB scripting. So that is the purpose of using this tbox run Excel macro. Right? Is it understood for everyone?
Yes,
The reason
madam.
behind me saying this is like if they ask in an interview, you should be at least aware of this. Fine for everyone? Any doubts in this? Clear? No doubt. Clear. Okay, what about others?
Okay, sir. No
Clear,
doubts.
madam.
Okay,
No doubt.
fine. Cool. So,
Clear, madam.
yeah, good. Thank you. So now what we'll be doing is, so we have already performed the Excel operations as we have seen. So what is the next thing that I want to plan to start on? Let me check the course content once. Now it's 7:46. How much time? We have 15 minutes of time. So what is that thing we have performed? Excel operations is what we have completed, right? So what we will do is, okay, even if I start file, okay. Anyways, now even if I start, this is not going to end now. So what I'll do is, I will stop the class here for today.